As the pandemic starts to wind down with the introduction of the vaccine and people start to participate in more outdoor activities, artists are receiving the chance to perform again. I actually had the opportunity to speak with this artist during Bronx Week back in 2019 after one of his performances. So please welcome rapper, producer, and fashion designer Uni-G.
Yo.
Hi.
What's up?
How's it going?
It's going good. Been working hard. This pandemic has been crazy. It took a lot away, but we're back and we're back to, we're trying to go back in action. So I'm happy.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really
Exactly.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
To start off, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who Uni-G is.
Okay, so I'm a rapper, born and raised from the Bronx. I've been rapping since I was 10 years old. Been producing since I was like 17. I'm also a fashion designer, as you can see, the little sweatshop in the back. So I've been doing this rap thing for a long time, just trying to change people's lives with God's words. And, I hope to do that, continue to do that. You know what I mean?
And tell us a little bit about your work pre-pandemic.
Oh man, I was on tour. We met at the Fat Joe concert. That was lit. After that, I went on tour with Lupe Fiasco. I went on tour with Tyga, A Boogie, ASAP Rocky. So I was all over. I went to Ghana. I performed out in Ghana for Afrochella. I was all over the place. I was in the studio. Everything was beautiful. It was dope. You know what I mean?
So you went on a lot of tours. You have to tell me what was probably one of like your best moments on tour.
Oh man, that's hard. That's so hard. I wouldn't say Lupe because Lupe Fiasco is my favorite rapper. He's been my favorite rapper since I was in high school. And the first time I met him, I'm like, oh my God, Jesus, what do I say? What do I do? You know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't know if I was gonna have a chance to talk to him after the show. So then I went and I was talking to somebody, and I'm like, hey, so Lupe, my favorite rapper. She's like, I'm actually his manager. You want to meet him? I'm like, Jesus, stop, Jesus. So she's like, yeah, let's go do it. And we linked up and it was beautiful. And since then, he kept me on tour. He was like, look, we're gonna do Africa together. We're gonna do all these different places. I'm like, we're gonna go to Zimbabwe, like, what I'm saying, all these other places. It was dope. Performing with Lupe. We came to New York. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful. You know what I mean?
And I met you at the Fat Joe concert for Bronx Week.
Yes.
Tell me a little about that. That was, I think, like the last time we saw each other in person.
Right. Oh my God, that was dope too. I forgot who even plugged me in with that concert. They hit me up like, hey, we know you're doing your thing in the Bronx. We want you to come out, perform for Fat Joe. I said, Fat JoJo or like Joe, like, you know what I mean? JoJo. So yeah, that was really dope. I mean, the crowd was electric. I forgot how many people was there. There was so many people going down that street, and it was just such a dope experience because it happened on Marshalloo, and I was born and raised on Marshalloo and never performed here. I always go out. I go to Canada, all these different places. So to be right there across the street from my house was really, really dope.
I can only imagine that was probably a really surreal experience for you. How did that feel? You're performing in the place that you grew up in. You're seeing the people that you grew up with. They're seeing Uni-G. Like, how does that feel?
That's actually such a great question because, it's always the places where you're from that they show the less support, unfortunately. And they always say you got to go out to come back and so forth and so on. So I think with people from my own neighborhood seeing me on stage, like, doesn't he live right on the 20th floor, and they were like, wow, like he can really, rap and hold a crowd, so forth and so on. So it was really deep for me to be able to show them like, look, I earned, their support instead of forcing it like, hey, support me, check me out. It was like, it was a natural, gradual thing. And, that was beautiful. And also it kind of juxtaposes to me performing in Ghana because I'm Ghanaian, my parents are straight from Ghana. And it was like the same thing. It was like, wow, like I'm back where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? So it was really dope.
So you had the groove going and then bang, the pandemic hit. Tell me about how you felt with that.
Bang theory. At first, I'm like everyone. I was scared. I'm like, all right, what is this? What's going on? And as time went on, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it will subside. Maybe it's just something small. But as the school started to shut down and stores, and I'm like, wait a minute, this might be serious. So for a while I just sat back and I'm like, just kind of observed with my eyes, and I did Zoom performances, stuff like, which was very, very weird for me. I'm like in my living room, just hey, I'm like, which I do in regular anyway, but it was weird. But being that a lot of people weren't outside, I took advantage and started shooting a whole bunch of videos. So every week I started this new series called New Music Mondays, where every week I dropped a new song and new video. Then COVID kind of hit bad. My dad passed during COVID, but I was still able to, bring the music out and still, use his name and give me, encouragement because I believe that when people pass, they don't die. We'll see them again. So it was a celebration of his life. But in all, I still took advantage of the time by shooting a new video every week, and it was dope.
And definitely, I didn't realize that you lost your father. I'm so sorry about that. A lot of loss there,
Right.
and just dealing with the pandemic, and also being an artist. How did you get your inspiration for just being creative?
Right. Honestly, God gives me my inspiration, then God's him, because I don't be writing. He just gives me some bars and it just goes on paper. But just everyday life and the things you go through, your testimony, so forth and so on, it just, allows me to take everything I've been through, good and bad, and piece it on the paper and allow it to translate to where other people can relate as well. I'm like, if you can understand what I'm going through, then I feel like you'll like the music more. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to my message because I speak more so about truth opposed to like the gimmicky. I have fun music, but I like to, focus on truth and real life. And I feel like real life never gets played out. So my inspiration comes from real life.
And let's look into that. So you
Yeah.
like to, you get your inspiration
Yeah.
from real life.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about your work that really delves into that.
Yeah, so for instance, I have a song called Don't Cry, which pretty much speaks about a friend who was abused by her father. And I felt like, that message happens to so many people. I know a bunch of people who's, been abused in different, different ways. And I'm like, maybe if I can write a song about it in a way where it starts off as me glorifying the father, like, a lot of people's like, oh, this is so dope. And then it ends with, you finding out she was abused, kind of be creative. I feel like so many women and men, go through that. And I'm like, if I can shed light to let them know that they're not alone, that somebody's there for them, and there's a hotline you can call, so forth and so on. A lot of people can, relate and feel saved in a sense, know that they can come to someone. So with that being said, I like to put that out there so other people can feel, like they're not alone.
And speaking of people feeling, that there's somebody there for them, you actually, as an artist, you did a
Mhm.
lot of work throughout the community during the
Yeah,
pandemic.
yeah.
Walk me through that. What'd you
Okay.
do?
So, I did the toy drive. I did the toy drive for the kids. I did 2 toy drives. I just wanted to pay my tithes and I wanted to give back to the community. Cause I'm like, it touched me so much in one of the toy drives. It's crazy. It makes me emotional now. I can't even look at the camera. I gotta stay G. I gotta stay OG. So, one of the kids, I bought a Mr. Potato Head, and he was like, "Can I have it?" I'm like, "Yeah, any toy you want." And he started crying, and he's like, "Mom, this is all I wanted." That toy was $5. So in my mind, I know it may sound crazy, but I had no idea the difference I was making. To me, I'm like, I'm just giving toys out. These are just toys. But that really made one kid's Christmas. And to see him crying over a $5 toy really, like, gave me perspective. Like, a lot of parents can't afford a $5 toy. They have to go to work, put food on the table, and pay rent, of course, and that's all they can afford. So being able to do that was like mind blowing for me. And other than that, daily I give out clothing to the homeless. Like I legit go out. If I'm going to the store, I have like a bag of clothes in my car, which have like underwear, shirts, toothpaste, socks, and I just give it out. So that's what I've been doing every day. I don't like put that out there, but I just
But
like
speaking of clothes, though, you got to move to the
oh,
side a little because I want to see
oh
the clothing
right,
action there.
right,
Tell me
right,
about your line. You're not just a rapper and a producer, you're also a fashion
right.
designer. Tell me
Right.
about that.
That was a good transition. That was good. Yeah, so that's my clothing line behind me, the Cold Chili sweatshop. No, Cold Chili clothing. I started Cold Chili clothing back in 2012, and it's really taken off since then. Sway Calloway from Sway in the Morning, he's one of my biggest endorsers. He got a hold of my jacket when I was performing at one of his shows, and he was like, "Yo, I need one." And I didn't know it was gonna turn into anything after that, but he really like went all out and he bought, not even just got it, he bought every single color, had me come up to Sirius XM and give jackets to different celebrities. I forgot all the celebrities I've given it to at this point, but yeah, it was different celebrities got the jackets. Then I started doing sweatsuits because people was like, I want to take a piece of me home with you after your shows. So I'm like, okay. I started doing sweatshirts, and now it's just expanded to everything to think of: socks, windbreakers, and shirts, and all this other stuff. So it's been doing really well. Mhm.
And, for anybody who's looking to,
Mhm.
swag out with the
Mhm.
Cold Chili
I got
clothing, how can
right,
they
right.
find out more?
Yeah, you can go to my website, IamUniG.com. You can grab something, take a piece of me home with you. I have women and men unisex. I'm already geared up for summer, so if you need some summer stuff, I have that. If you want to keep it chill, right? Pun intended. Chilly, whatever. Okay. You want to keep it cold, right? I have, stuff for fall, so forth and so on. So it's all on the website.
And as a rapper, can
Mhm.
we expect to see any new music? Any new music? I know you're always working and
Right,
editing, shooting those videos. What can
right.
we expect?
Yeah, I've been working on a new album. I'm really proud of this album. Like, I felt like my last album, Welcome to My Universe, was one of my greatest works because it really changed my life. Like, Rock Nation called me up, Atlantic Records called me out. I went on tour with that album, but now I'm working on another album. I really feel like it's my best work. I don't have a name for it yet or anything, but it's very eclectic and it's very diverse and, different sounds on there, which I'm really proud of because I didn't stick to one genre. I really made music where, I feel like people like, wait, who's this? I really wanted to push the envelope on this one. So I'm really proud of this new project. So a new project will be coming out soon. Don't have a date yet, but it will be coming out real soon.
All right, guys, you heard it here. UniG's project is coming out soon. Be ready.
Right. Exclusive drop.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. That's all we have for the show today. I'm your host, Jericho Tran, wishing you and yours a safe and happy week. Thank you guys, and we will see you next time.